What is optimal training? It is making every repetition count. Today everybody goes on about how time poor they are, and it's true. People do not have spare time to waste. Yet, I look around the gym and see so many people literally wasting their time. Worst part is, they don't even know it. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be giving you critical pointers over a number of classic exercises, all with the purpose of taking you from experiencing average exercise stimulus to all-out results-producing exercise stimulus. BPI Nation, my name is Tyron, a celebrity trainer, Legion Training founder, and BPI Sports featured expert. And for the BPI Sports Tips from Coach series, I'll be your coach. Welcome back to the third installment, guys, of the BPI Tips from Coach series. Today, we take on legs, in particular, quad training. And the way we're going to be doing this today, guys, is we're going to be jumping in with a session with Camilla Payne, BPI and Legion Training Ambassador. Now, word of warning, do not let her tiny stature fool you. Once this girl gets a barbell across her back, it is beast mode. She will put you on the ground. So, brace yourself and let's get it on. So leg training, in particular today, quadricep focus training. And there's quite a number of critical pointers that I implement with my online members. But if I had to sum up my top three, they would be: create force first, contract before moving, stay in the tension zone. So let's have a look at these being applied. What I mean by create force first is actually creating tension between you and, in this case, the foot plate. How you do this is by purposefully pushing and flattening your foot out as much as possible, trying to cover as much surface area with the sole of your foot as possible. The reason we do this is to help ensure when we're lifting that the working load is actually being transferred to where we want it to go. Now you'll notice, when you've done this correct, you're actually already halfway into the second critical pointer, contract before moving. To successfully create force between you and the plate, the only way you can do this properly is by actually contracting the leg muscles and glutes, having them engage, active, to drive and flatten your foot into the plate. So what we do from here is further the intensity of your contraction through the muscles that we want to primary hit. Contract them so hard that the body has no choice but to start to move the plate away from us. Doing this will have the quads taking the load from the very first movement and triggering the neuromuscular signaling to keep them as the primary lifter. Staying in the tension zone is all about keeping the targeted muscle group in the firing line the whole set. With leg press, actually look at how far of the range of movement can you control with the targeted quadriceps still doing all the work the whole time. It's actually a lot shorter than most people think. Sit in the leg press, back and glutes pressed hard up against the back pad in the seat. Now pull your legs back. That's it. How far you can pull your legs back without your hips rolling and tilting out of position is your personal range limit. Now when you're under load, that's as far as you should come down to make sure the load doesn't transfer through other muscle groups. So the same three critical pointers apply over into the barbell squats as well. First thing we need to do, again, is create that force between the soles of our feet and this time the floor. Remember, Driving our feet and flattening them out against the floor will create a platform to transfer the working load through. Now, there's 2 phases of required contraction here. First is during the eccentric, the downward phase. Before you move at all, contract the targeted muscles. Don't let the weight take you down. Fight gravity, fight the weight, and have your quads and glutes engaged hard to control the downward movement. Then, from the bottom, we're going to contract the quads and glutes so hard that your body can't remain in the bottom position any longer. Your contraction will literally force you out of the bottom position, and you actually feel like you're pushing the floor away from you. Putting your muscles in these very controlled and intense contractions will help keep the tension where we want it, where we want to trigger the most stimulus. So finally, guys, staying in the tension zone. Quads and glutes is mainly where we want to be keeping the tension, right? So how do we do this? By only lowering yourself down to the point just before your hips start to tilt in. Once your hips begin tilting and changing angle, the load is transferring through your spinal erectors and wherever else wants to go. Stopping yourself just short of this bottom point and stopping yourself short of fully standing up will keep the targeted muscles under tension and receiving the maximal amount of stimulus from each repetition. There we go, guys. Quad focus leg training is done. She killed it. So, the take-home points from this, or the fastest way of being able to implement those 3 critical pointers in, is realize that, first of all, I think the biggest thing is everybody's range is a little bit different. The biomechanics of everybody, flexibility, it does differ from person to person. So you need to find your range. And I think it's take your time with it, the setup. Make sure you set up right before executing any reps. So guys, take your time on that, find your own range and implement them as quickly as you can in your next leg session, and I guarantee you will see the difference. All right, BPI Nation, until next time, we're out.